I cannot believe that we are talking about Maason Smith missing the opening game because of something that happened 2 years ago, and the NCAA is stepping in on this. I cannot get over what I was reading yesterday. I mean, I had to text Wilson and say, "Are you serious on this?" I'm like, "Is this a joke?" No, man, this is real. Maason Smith is not going to play against Florida State because the NCAA suspended him after finding out he received an improper benefit 2 years ago. He'll miss the first game. He'll be able to return against Grambling in week 2. He cooperated with the investigation, but ultimately he's going to have to miss the first matchup of the season. Like, by no means am I telling anybody how to run business, and I'm probably not the guy that should be in the position to be making decisions on this, because it's emotional, you're tied close to it, and really it's more about the NCAA than it is LSU. The fact that you have to still deal with this organization after everything that they have been exploited for over the last 3 years is an absolute crime. It's a crime to Maason Smith. It's a crime to LSU. It's a crime to college football. It's a crime to the fan base of the entire sport. That you're having to take one of the best players in college football off of the field because of something that this broken organization has deemed a impermissible benefit. Define what that means to me. What that means. NCAA, they couldn't even give you the definition if you put them on the spot. If you had them on a witness stand. If you told them to define it, they couldn't give it back to you. Improper benefit for Maason Smith because he was signing an autograph and getting paid for it on something that now is legal. Like, this is an absolute joke. I know it can happen just because you got to run business day to day. And I thought Michigan was going to do this when Michigan and Harbaugh just told the NCAA, it's right here. Come get it. We're not abiding by your suspension. We're not listening to what you have to say. We're not sitting down and talking to you. Because if we don't, what? What happens? What are you going to do? You got no subpoena power. Nobody in the federal government's aligned with you. You're just an organization walking around trying to intimidate people, bully people. You can't play. What? I'm playing. Like, play him. Sit him against Grambling. I guarantee you the way that Michigan handled it, they chose the 3 games that they suspended Harbaugh for. While they did say, the NCAA, we're not playing your game, but they did suspend Harbaugh in-house. They suspended him for the first 3 games of the season. Who do they play the first 3 games of the season? Parkview, U-High, and Episcopal? I mean, right, they don't play anybody for the first 3 games of the season. They chose that. Okay, you got him on an impermissible benefit 2 years ago. He's sitting against Grambling. He's playing against Florida State. I'm not the one to be making the choice, and there's probably going to be fallout if that happens. If so, I would live with it. And start to exploit this organization that is fraudulent. They're fake. What ground do you have to stand on? I mean, I got B-roll of the Supreme Court dressing them down. Telling them that in every single country in the world, this is illegal. I mean, like, what are you doing? This is broken. And now, after legislation has deemed that you can pay college athletes, you can pay them for their name, their image, their likeness. So if you wanted Maason Smith to show up to your business and sign an autograph, hell yeah, you can pay him. That happened 2 years ago, and now he's got to miss one of the biggest games on the schedule? Get the hell out of here. He's playing. I cannot believe it was going too good, really. I mean, like, thinking about it. I mean, it was going too smooth, man. It was going, one fight in camp A fight in camp, we took 30 minutes. You know, people are crusading in the chat because we're talking about a fight on the field. What else you want us to talk about? Everything else is going smooth. People are going to class. People are showing up on time. Everybody went to their workouts. People are competing on the field. They got a really good team. They're getting geared up for Florida State. And 10 days out, you take the best player off the field because of something he did in 2021? For now that something's that is legal? Like, play him. Play him. Sit him against Grambling and tell him what? What are you going to, you think the NCAA is going to tell LSU football you can't play in the playoff? I mean, what power? What grounds? How? How can they come in and tell in 2023, no, Maason Smith can't play? Sorry. What do you mean? Well, him and Kayshawn were signing autographs in 2021, and it was an impermissible benefit. Like, hey, man, get the bleep out of here right now before I beat your ass. Like, seriously, take your suit, your tie, your pin pocket, and get the hell out of here. I mean, are you kidding? Taking Maason Smith off the field against Florida State for something he did in 2021 that's now legal in an organization that's broke? How? Seriously, how? I mean, like, how? How does that happen? It's like, I mean, really, I know Woodward he's tight with the NCAA. Forget Emmert. People respect Woodward at every level of power within the structure of college sports. Ain't nobody talking shit about Scott Woodward. And if they are, it's because they're jealous. If he picked up the phone and was like, hey, man, say what? How? How do you think you have the power to deem one of our top players ineligible for one of the biggest games on the schedule for something he did 2 years ago that's now legal? Who made this decision? Put them on the phone. I mean, like, this is a joke. This is a joke. Like, I was laughing and pointing at Michigan thinking, man, that's awesome how they're handling it. Now that LSU's in the fire? Are you kidding me? I mean, well, it's not a big deal. Are you out of your mind? Somebody texted me like, is it that big of a deal? I mean, he's one of the best players in the country. Coming off of an injury, motivated in a game he was hurt in last season. You think he's ready to play? And just because he signed an autograph in 2021 for something that is now legal, a broken organization can come in and say, you know what? Yeah, he can't play the first game. For what? Well, 2 years ago when he got to college, he took money for what was deemed a inappropriate benefit. You're kidding, right? You're kidding. I cannot get over that this is even happening. Like, when I read this yesterday from Wilson Alexander, I swear I texted him and said, this has to be a joke. This feels like 2019. This feels like 2018. In 2023, I'm still reading where the NCAA can take a player off the field for getting paid for signing autographs? We're 2.5 years into this stuff. I mean, NIL's been on the books for over 2 years now, and they still have the authority to retroactively tell somebody that they broke a rule that has now been deemed by the federal government, by the Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court had Emmert sitting in front of their face, and they were It was amazing the way they were dressing him. I mean, it was border. I mean, it was way past disrespect. I mean, like, nobody was respecting him while he was sitting there. I mean, at that point, I kind of thought, like, okay, the jig is up. Like, I mean, like, it's finally been sniffed out. Like, the whole country is seeing, it's on display. Like, the business model is a sham. I mean, you're running college athletes out there and making billions off their sweat, and then coming back and saying, well, he can't play because he signed an autograph and got, how much you think Maason Smith made from signing that autograph? Was the number put out, Stewie? I'm guessing $500 tops. And I'm being kind. This is 2021 where people are still playing under the table. Is this before NIL? So people are still kind of giving you an envelope full of cash. That's still happening today, by the way. Even with NIL, people are cheating their ass off. And the NCAA still feels like they can come back and tell Maason Smith because he signed an autograph 2 years ago and collected maybe $500 on a kid that if they do just a bit, just a little bit of research on, because they've already made millions off of him. You know what I mean? How many zero jerseys are they going to scoop up? Are they going to sell this year? Right? Still making money off the kid. But yet the kid collects maybe, and this, I'm just speculating, I don't even know. I'm just saying $500, and they want to come back and bust his balls and tell him he can't play? Like, get out of here. Like, pack your stuff, take your old white man mentality with your suit and your pin pocket and all these people behind you that you think are relevant and give a damn, and get the hell out of here. Like, rather than the NCAA feeling like they can make an example out of a school, a player, a university, a program, like, when's it going to be the player university program? Make an example out of them. Michigan football, LSU football. You think people are going to mess with that brand? You think people are going to side with the NCAA if Michigan football and LSU football said, hey, we're not playing. We're not playing your game. Maason Smith's starting against Florida State, and Jim Harbaugh's coaching the first 3 games. And if they do, what? What are you going to do about it?
The NIL rule went into place July 1st, 2021. So I don't know when that autograph signing was, but
who cares?
I mean, like,
who cares? What are we even talking about, man? I cannot believe in 2023 that this is even real. Like, that the NCAA still has this. I really didn't even think that they had this type of authority. That was the part that struck me the most. Like, people still listen to them like this? I mean, when the Supreme Court told them to, like, pack your business model up and get the hell out of here. In no country in the world is this legal. Third world countries apply. Like, this can't happen anywhere. You're thieves. You're stealing. You're criminals. You are, all of you on the board of directors up there in the NCAA, all of you in the compliance committee, all of you you're criminals. You're making money off of people that weren't able to collect off of their sweat, off of their injuries, off of their tear, off of just their work. And it was smoked out finally after, 100 years. And still, they can come in and say, well, yeah, he signed an autograph for his, and he got money. Yeah, well, no shit. It's legal now. I'm sorry, man. I know kids are in carpool, man. I'm sorry for but I mean, this, kids, this is illegal. This is a sham. This is crazy. Tell your teachers this morning, can you believe that Maason Smith's not playing? Like, in what world, in what business does this make sense? Teach? This is a lesson. I can't believe Maason Smith's ineligible for game one. I cannot believe that Maason Smith will not be dressed out for LSU, Florida State, and he'll be healthy. I mean, like I wish, and it's not going to happen. And, like that's why Brian Kelly's been in the game for 35 years because, he's compliant, plays by the rule. He does the deal. I would just play him.
How did they get to pick the game for Kayshawn, but they don't get to pick the game for Maason Smith?
Good one.
Because Kayshawn played against Florida State last year. Missed the UAB game. BK said it was the flu. It was real suspension.
I mean, I don't like by the letter of the law. I would just say he missed all last season. He's already missed his games. Well, he was hurt. I don't care. He didn't play.
That's worse than a suspension.
Right. I mean, he didn't play. So, I mean, he's already served it. Get the hell out of here. I mean, it's amazing. Maason Smith's not playing against Florida State. I mean, it just you tell me in what world that makes any sense. Any.